Online students, can you all hear me? Okay. So is there anyone new students? Varun, you're from which batch or you're new student? Varun, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. I'm a new student actually.
Okay, fine.
Thank
Anyone else who joined? Okay, fine. Okay, so today we are going to start about the SQL demo. Okay. So we are going to learn about first, before moving into the SQL or the day, anything, we are going to first learn about what is a database and how we are going to manage it and what is the requirement for the database. And then later we'll go to the SQL. So first of all, what is database and why we are going to learn it? So database, whenever you wanted to store huge amount of information, okay, whenever you wanted to store huge amount of information, then we have to use database. See, suppose, let us say when you have 5 people or 10 people information to the storing, like his employee information or any student information, anything, when you have very few people or 10 to 20 people, you can easily use what a book or a file to store or retrieve their information whenever it is required. But when you have lakhs and lakhs of people information, let us say an application called Facebook, how many people will be there? So many people will be, millions of people will be using. Or any real-time application like Flipkart or Amazon, whatever you take, any banking application to store their information of any clients or anything, they need a huge amount of storage area. You cannot store in a small like file or a book. So to store such huge amount of information, we need a database. Database is nothing but which is used to store a vast information. And how it is helpful when you're developing real-time applications like this, we require so much of amount to be stored, right? You wanted to store very huge information. Okay, so now what kind of databases are there in real time? You will be learning with Oracle, or you have like MySQL, or you have something called Postgre. Like this, you have so many databases in real time. Okay, so you will be learning with Oracle database. Now you might be getting a doubt like if how it is if I am using like MySQL or Postgre when I join a company or in any other place. No problem, because SQL is a language where it will be common for any type of database you take. Either it is Oracle database, MySQL, Postgre, or anything, any database you take, it is a commonly used language. So you can learn this SQL and PLSQL also here to work with any database. Okay, so no problem if you are working. Suppose if your computer has MySQL already installed, no worries. Whatever concepts I teach with SQL, you can work with MySQL. There will be a little difference between the syntax. Apart from that, no problem. Everything is same. Okay, clear? So we use this Oracle database to store large amount of information. Suppose how it is there, I think everyone can see the screen. Now I open the Google Chrome here. Suppose there is a Facebook application or any application you take. Suppose we are taking the Facebook. In the Facebook application, in the login page, here we have a login or sign up, login to the Facebook. What you will, it will ask us, like it will ask us to enter the user ID and password. Yes or no? Then how it is exactly matching with your user ID and password and retrieving? That means it is storing your information somewhere. That is nothing but the database. So for this, you will be creating one front end page, like how it looks for any Facebook page, like this, with a email ID, password, and the login button, create new account. For developing this front end, you will be learning HTML, and you will be learning CSS, and you will be learning JavaScript. And for the backend, for the connection and everything, you will be learning any technology like Java, or it can be Python, like this. And in between, you will connect with the database to store the information. So here, when you type your credentials here, the ID and the password, and click on login button, with the help of backend technology, it connects to the database. And if it exactly matches, see, without now, if I say login, will it allow? No, right? It is giving me like an error or a warning that please enter correct address and correct password and all, and then click on the login button. It is asking me, right? So for all this, we use front end. And when I give some randomly, suppose I'm giving my email ID and I give the wrong password and click on the login button, it won't open my page. Again, it will give me an error, like the password is incorrect. So it is showing my ID, but it is telling the password is incorrect, right? So that means it is connecting meanwhile to the database, and it is checking with my mail ID the password. If it is not matching, then it will give you an error. That means it is checking with the database. These all are done with the front end, back end, and the database. So actually, to develop a real-time application, you need some, not like in depth of database, basic queries of SQL, and or little advanced queries of SQL and PLSQL, it's enough. But here you learn in depth all the queries of SQL and PLSQL, whereas you can also get a chance of SQL developer. Sometimes there are job opportunities, not only like full stack. You'll get an opportunity for front end, back end, and also for the database who works on SQL and PLSQL. So that you can grab that opportunity also by learning this. Okay. Otherwise, for developing an application, some of the queries are enough. Okay, so this is about just the database, like how it is and why it is used. We'll see in further classes also, like how to install Oracle database and how to work with it in different ways. Okay, and so if you put in your resume, I know SQL database, they will ask you some basic information also about the database. So I told what is database, and now I will also tell you about what is DBMS. DBMS stands for Database Management System. Database Management System. Okay, and along with this, you also have RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. Okay, we have like DBMS and RDBMS. So what is the difference between both? There are few differences between the DBMS and RDBMS. So the example of DBMS are when we store the data in files or records, anything. This is called like DBMS, Database Management System. And while coming to the RDBMS, we store the data in tables. And the examples of RDBMS is Oracle and MySQL. These are all RDBMS. Okay, MySQL. These are like a softwares. Database management system and RDBMS are like a softwares installed, like which will help us to store information in a different format, like files or records and all. Whenever you store the data in table format, we call it as a relational database. These are the examples. When you store in simple files or records, then it is called DBMS. And DBMS will not follow completely the ACID properties. It will not follow ACID properties, ACID. And RDBMS will follow the all ACID properties. I will tell you what are the ACID properties also. A stands for atomicity. What is this? A stands for atomicity. And C stands for consistency. And I stands for isolation. And D stands for durability. Okay. So here atomicity, consistency, isolation, and then what? Durability. These are the 4 acid properties that are followed by the RDBMS. And DBMS, we cannot follow this atomicity and then consistency. All these properly. So what do you mean by atomicity? I'll explain one by one. See, suppose atomicity means I will tell you some real-time examples. Nowadays, everything was payment process. For whatever items you are doing the payment process was done by UPIs, right? Like Google Pay, or you can tell Phone Pay. Like this, you have so many things that you are paying. And any bank ATM withdrawal, any real-time scenario you consider. So when you pay through Google Pay or anything for any small grocery shop or anything, what will happen sometimes? The money gets deducted from your account and it's not deposited for them. There will be a transaction error. And again, you will get back that amount. You will get a message like there is an error in the network issue. So you will get back your amount in 2 days or 3 days, or immediately also sometimes you will get in few minutes also you get. Yes or no? This is like the transaction is incomplete. The transaction is what? Incomplete. It started, but it is incompleted. It's not completed. Yes or no? And sometimes when you click the withdraw amount from the ATM also, you get like money got deducted, but the money won't come from ATM. Again, you will get a message like it is reverted, it will be reverted back in 2, 3 working days or 1 day. You will get. That means your application is not atomic. It is not like atomic. That means what? What is the rule of atomicity? When, listen carefully, when you started a transaction, this is a transaction, right? When you started a transaction, it has to be completed. It has to be completed. Otherwise, don't start it. Otherwise, don't start it. If the network is very less, don't start paying with Google Pay. Wait for it. If you start a transaction, you have to complete it. Otherwise, don't start it. If the transaction is having 4 steps to be completed, like you have to type the money, you have to send, he has to receive it, the deduction and has to be done from your account, and for his account, it has to be added. There are multiple steps to be completed. If the transaction has 4 steps to be completed, all 4 has to be completed. Otherwise, don't start the first step itself. When you are sending the money only, it has to give you an instruction that the network is not good, so that don't transact because it may not complete. It has to give you a warning. If it is not like that, then your application is not like atomic. Okay, so that is what do you mean by atomicity. This property is not followed by applications or anything which follows the DBMS, like database man. This is also used for storing, retrieving, and when you want to do all transactions, you can do, but it is not up to the mark following all these rules. While if you are considering relational database management system, it will follow all these rules like atomicity. If you start the transaction, complete it. Otherwise, don't start it. That is the thing when you tell that it is an atomicity. Clear, everyone? Online students, are you following? Saket, Teja, Abhinav, everyone, are you following? Varun, అర్థమవుతుందా అండి? ఓకే. So all of you, if you want, just please make a note of these 4 properties like atomicity, consistency, and then isolation and durability. And what do you mean by consistency? What do you mean by consistency? Means suppose you have transactions to be maintained. Suppose there is a bank account. Your account is A, and you have the accounts of B and you have the accounts of C. 2 accounts are there. Okay, B as well as C. Now you are sending the amount to the B as well as C. So it has to be consistently maintained. Means suppose in your account there is a balance of 1,000 rupees. Okay, so and you wanted to send for B some amount of 500. Okay, and let us say B is having already some 800 rupees. Okay, let us say. And let us say C is also having a balance of, let us say, 700. And here you wanted to send from A to C also some amount, like from A, let us say you wanted to send 400 rupees to you. So now you are sending for both accounts, 500 to the B account and 500 to the C account. Here, when you are sending the money, it has to be consistently, correctly maintained. That means what? When you're transferring 500 to B, it has to deduct 500 here and the balance has to be 500 when you deduct it. And here, when you are at this point of time, when you're deducting 500, it has to get 500 rupees and it has to add and give you the total balance. And when you are sending him 400, the balance should be deducted from the remaining 500, not from the 1,000. 500 minus 400 and it has to send, and here the balance should be like minus 400 and remaining should be 100. Understood? So the consistently it has to be maintained. It should not deduct from 1,000 at a 500 at a time and here 400. It should not deduct like that. 1,000 minus 400 and again it should not be like 1,000 minus. It should not do both at the same time, like 1,000 minus 400. It should not do that. First, it has to update the balance from 1,000 minus 400 to 400. And from that 500, it has to deduct this 400. That means at any point of time, the data has to be correct, consistently maintained. Okay. So at any point you check, it has to be correct. Consistent. So understood, did you understand the scenario? మీ దగ్గర ఒక 1,000 రూపాయలు ఉందనుకోండి, ఇద్దరికి మనీ ఇవ్వాలి. ఆ 1,000లోంచి ఇచ్చామనుకోండి, సపోజ్ ఇక్కడ ఓకే 500 400 కాబట్టి బ్యాలెన్స్ ఉంది 100, సరే ఇతనికి 600 ఇవ్వాలనుకోండి. సపోజ్ మీరు 1,000 నుంచే విత్డ్రా చేస్తున్నారు అనుకోండి, రెండు అమౌంట్స్ 600 ఇవ్వాల్సినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? ఇక్కడ బ్యాలెన్స్ 500 తీసుకోకుండానే ఇక్కడ కూడా మనకి అకౌంట్ లో 1,000 చూపిస్తుంది. 1,000 minus 500 and 1,000 minus 600. Your account balance will go to negative finally. Yes or no? Because you don't have so much balance. 1,000 minus 500 is 500 and again 600 means you will be getting minus 100, which is not correct. That means data is inconsistent. It has to start the transaction after completing one. So from the 500 only, it has to deduct. When now, if you are trying to say 600, it will tell no sufficient balance. Yes or no? So if you are maintaining data consistency, you don't get this issue of negative balance. Okay. So this is called like data has to be maintained consistently. Data has to be maintained consistently. Got it, everyone? Clear, everyone? And the next one is isolated. It is also similar, actually. Consistency and isolation are little similar. Here also, the data should be perfect or correct at any point of transaction. Data should be exactly correct at any point of transaction. If any error occurs or anything also, it has to be perfectly maintained and saved correctly. And the last point is durability. So what do you mean by durability? Means there should be auto commit or auto saving of your transaction. Suppose due to some network error or system crash down, or sometimes it will, it should not lose your data. You should not lose the data that you have saved or transactions. So here auto commit should be there. Means if you perform any transaction, it has to be saved in fraction of seconds. Every second, it has to save your transaction. You're deducting, adding, inserting, anything you do, it has to be done automatically saved. If you're not saving, you may lose the data. If suddenly the system power off or any network issue occurs or anything happens, if you suddenly get closed, if you have done 20 transactions, it all will be lost. You saved, you inserted 5 people data or anything, it may be lost if there is no durability. So you have to maintain all these properties for a perfect database storage. So here, these are the ACID properties we have: atomicity and consistency, isolation, and then what? Durability. Clear, everyone? These are the 4 ACID properties we have. Finally, what we are doing, we are storing information in table. That's it. We are storing the information in the table in whatever way it is. Okay, everyone. Just if you have any questions so far, you can please let me know. Clear all? So now we will be storing. Yes, చెప్పండి.
మ్యామ్ ఈ ఒరాకిల్ మైఎస్క్యూఎల్ అన్నీ ఒకటే మేడం, డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటాయి మేడం. అంటే ఒరాకిల్ వేరేగా ఉంటుంది, లేదా ఎస్క్యూఎల్ వేరేగా ఉంటుంది మేడం.
రెండు రకాల డేటాబేస్లు అండి. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక మొబైల్ కొన్నాం అనుకోండి, అల్టిమేట్ గా మనం చేసేది ఒకటే ప్రాసెస్, మాట్లాడటం. ఇప్పుడు కాకపోతే ఒక్కొక్క కంపెనీలో ఒక్కొక్క విధంగా మనం ఆపరేట్ చేసేది ఉంటుంది, అవునా కదా? ఇప్పుడు యాపిల్ ఫోన్ తీసుకున్నామంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ లైక్ డిఫరెంట్ వే ఆఫ్ యూజింగ్ ఉంటుంది, అవునా? దాని ప్లాట్ఫామ్ డిఫరెంట్, ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ డిఫరెంట్. ఇప్పుడు ఏ కంప్యూటర్ తీసుకుని విండోస్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, హౌ వి వర్క్ ఈస్ డిఫరెంట్. లైనెక్స్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ తీసుకుంటే ఎట్లా వర్క్ చేస్తాం అనేది డిఫరెంట్. అట్లాగే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒరాకిల్ డేటాబేస్ అయినా, మైఎస్క్యూఎల్ అయినా, లేకపోతే ఏ డేటాబేస్ తీసుకున్నా కానీ అల్టిమేట్ గా చేసేది స్టోరేజ్ ఆఫ్ డేటాని. కానీ రాసే క్వరీస్ మనం ఇప్పుడైతే అందులో ఎట్లా డేటాని స్టోర్ చేస్తాం అనే దానిలో కొన్ని క్వరీస్ లో మైనర్ చేంజెస్ ఉంటాయి, అన్నిటికీ కూడా కాదు, ఫ్యూ క్వరీస్ కి సింటాక్స్ లో. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీకు ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఐడియా ఉండుంటే జావా ఆర్ సి ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ లాంగ్వేజ్ లో ఇంట్ అట్లా తీసుకుంటాం. వేరే లాంగ్వేజ్ లో ఇంకొక డేటా టైప్ ఉండొచ్చు. లేదా ఇప్పుడు ఒరాకిల్లో డేటా టైప్ నెంబర్ స్టోర్ చేయడానికి ఇంట్ బదులుగా నెంబర్ అని ఇస్తాం ఒరాకిల్లో. అదే MySQL లో అయితే ఇంటీజర్ అని ఇస్తాం అంతే. ఇట్లా కొన్ని చేంజెస్ ఉంటాయి. నేను ఇట్లా చేంజెస్ ఉన్నటిని క్లాస్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు మెన్షన్ చేస్తాను. అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్ విల్ బి సేమ్. రెండు సపరేట్ డేటాబేసెస్ మనం ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకునేటప్పుడు రెండు సపరేటే, కానీ యూజ్ చేసే పర్పస్ మాత్రం సేమ్ అన్నమాట.
ఓకే మ్యామ్.
ఓకే,
Yes, ma'am.
సో మీరు ఏ డేటాబేస్ అయినా యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు, ప్రాబ్లం ఉండదు. ఇప్పుడు మీరు MySQL ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి రేపు పొద్దున్న Oracle తో వర్క్ చేయాల్సి వచ్చినా కొన్ని మీరు అప్గ్రేడ్ అయితే సరిపోతుంది, కొన్ని అడిషనల్ చేంజెస్ మీరు నేర్చుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది, కానీ మొత్తానికి ఏమి మళ్ళీ కొత్తగా నేర్చుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. సో ఇక్కడ మనం Oracle తో నేర్చుకుంటాం అనమాట, Oracle డేటాబేస్. మీరు కావాలంటే MySQL లో కూడా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకోండి, సేమ్ క్వరీస్, నో ప్రాబ్లం.
ఓకే మ్యామ్, అర్థమైంది.
ఓకే ఫైన్. సో ఎస్, వరుణ్ మీకు తెలుగు కూడా అర్థమవుతుంది కదండి?
Yeah, yes, yes.
ఓకే, యా. So this is, so why, how we are storing the data? By following these ACID properties. It's important that you follow all these properties. Otherwise, you may not store data properly. Excuse me. Here, so we have to store information like this. And what we will be doing in the database, we will insert data. I said we will store the data in form of a table, right? We store the data in form of table. Now, what are the things we are going to do? Suppose an employee is there. Employee will have ID, employee will have name, employee will have the designation and his department and his salary. Like this, you will be having so much amount, like what is his address and his mobile number. Like this, you will be having some information that has to be stored for any person or any employee you have. Consider an employee or a student or a bank, anything. You have some details to be stored. Now you can insert the data using SQL language that you will be learning. You will be inserting data for what ID, name, designation and all. And not only inserting, you can also update the existing data. That means what? Suppose you have entered ID1 and you will be inserting the name. Suppose ID and I'm inserting the name as Likita, and here the designation. The designation will be like full stack trainer, Java full stack trainer. So just you can give, and you will be inserting data like this. Suppose while inserting the mobile number I have missed, I did not give because I was joining new. Then what to do? We will leave that column. Later, after a week or something, you have given your mobile number. Then it has to be updated, right? So that you will update the existing data or empty data. Means you gave one mobile number, you wanted to change it. Now you are staying in Hyderabad, maybe your address changed to Bangalore. Then you have to change the existed one or add a new one, which is empty. For both the purposes, you will be using updation. And then you will also delete the data. Using this in database, you will be deleting the data. Deleting means what? There is already some rows of information. You wanted to remove some, an employee resigned from a company or student completed the course. You wanted to remove the unwanted information, because if you are keeping so much of data, it will be full, right? Even though it can store huge amount of information, the unwanted data, if you remove, it will be having some free space so that you can performance will be good for the database, because database will be actually requires more amount of information to be stored, so it will become slow if you are storing very huge data. So sometimes it is required to remove the unused information also, so that the space will be allocated for the new things that you are storing. Okay, and also you want to view then you will be selecting. What you can do, you can view the data. What is there in your, means suppose in a company, you wanted to view the people who are working on mechanical department or computer department. Like that, you will have many different apartments, and or you wanted to view the people whose salary is from 10,000 to 50,000 or above 50,000, or you wanted to know employee details based upon their age or income or designation or address. Like this, you wanted to know based on their performance. So you can view all the data, or you can view selected data also based upon the question. So you can select, insert, update, delete. And ultimately, if you have to do all these things, first the table has to be present, right? So it has to be created first. Whatever information in database you are storing, first of all, the table has to be created. After creating, then you can do all these queries in the table. These are all like insert query, delete query. We call in terms of query. Whatever you write, you'll insert, delete. Don't worry, from tomorrow's session, you will see how to do all these things. First, you are learning basic. Any new subject you are learning, you'll have some basic knowledge that has to be known. And in the tomorrow session also, I will be discussing about the normalization. Okay, in the next session, because that is also some topic that you have to know. Because when you put in resume, they will ask you what is DBMS, what is RDBMS, and what is the difference between both. The main thing is like it follows as it, and DBMS doesn't follow. Like that, you can tell few differences between both, and they will ask you about the normalization also. What are different types of normalization, and why we are using that and all. So that is also very important, which we can see in next session. Clear everyone so far? ఏమన్నా క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయండి ఇప్పటిదాకా చెప్పిన దానిలో? Okay, so here the next we will be learning in the SQL how to install the database and how to work with it also. We need to know first of all. If you are installing the Oracle database, what you have to do is you can go to the Google Chrome, and here you have to type the latest version of Oracle. So now everyone, you can use any latest version. Now I am using Oracle 21 Express Edition. So it is enough for the practice purpose and storing the information. Oracle 21 like Express Edition you can download. So it is enough to practice for you. You can just click on that. So like this you will be getting. Everyone, you can also parallelly do with me. You can go here. If you want, you download MySQL, no problem, but I will be teaching with the Oracle. So Oracle Database Express Edition. And here it will show you some page like where you have to store the information, like Oracle 21 Express Edition for Linux or Windows, which bit operating system, like this it will show. You can just click on this. When you click on this, it gets downloaded. Okay, you can go to the downloads here, and once you have downloaded, you can see the Oracle zip file. Observe carefully. You will be having a zip file. Okay, so here you have to first right click on this and then extract it. You can click on extract all. When you click on extract all, it will be extracted. Before extracting, don't try to directly open like this and click on setup. There will be a setup file, but don't do this without extracting. You have to do it only from the extracted file, not from the zip file. Okay, you have to do it from the extracted. See, once it is extracted, you will get like this without the zip. So the zip icon. So here, when you can double click on this, now you will see the setup file. You have to double click on this and you can click on yes after downloading. Then you can go on step by step. Okay, since I have already installed, I will be not doing it. It will give me an error. Click to remove because it's already there. Okay, why I'm again installing, so it will ask me to remove and do it again. So, but I'm not doing it. So I am exiting it. So what is the process you have to do, everyone? So once again, I'm showing you, you have to go to the Google and type Oracle download. You download 21C or any latest version your wish. And you have to click on this so that it will get downloaded. Once it is downloaded, go to the downloads and here you will see the Oracle zip file. Okay. So then extract it. Select this and click on extract all or right click and do extract all. Whatever it is, you do it. Once it is downloaded and you will get like this extracted file and then click on the setup, it will get installed. And remember, it will take little time. It won't happen fast as other softwares like JDK or maybe something related to Python or school learned front end Visual Studio. These are all like they download and install in few minutes or few seconds sometimes. But Oracle database will take time because we discussed that database is storing huge amount of information. Then it will be requiring so much of time, not very time. If your internet speed is good, it will install, but not very fast, remember. So once it get installed, to check whether it installed properly or not, then you have to go to the search and you have to type the SQL plus like this. You can see SQL plus. If it is installed properly, then it will open. Then it will open. See, it will ask the username and it will ask the password also. What is the username? By default, the username is system. The username is what? System. And if you observe here, okay, I'm typing the username system. 1 second. And what about the password? While you are installing the password, while you are installing the Oracle database, it will ask you to enter the password by default when you are installing. As I said, when you are installing to the downloads, okay, when you go to the downloads and when you double click on the setup file and everything, you will be installing, right? In between it will show the username is common, that is system, and password you have to give. And remember that this is for our practice purpose only. Don't give like very big password like with alphanumeric, special characters and all. Because if you forget again, you have to do some steps to again recover it. So give a simple password, no problem. Your name, where you can remember it. That's it. Where you can easily remember it. So give such password, and that password should be that password should be given you here. So you will enter system as the username and you will enter the password here. The password will be like whatever you enter during installation. And see here, I am entering the password. Is it visible? No. that is more secure. Generally for Google, Gmail or Facebook, you will get dots or stars. But here for the database, you don't see how many letters got typed as with dots or stars. Don't get worried that it is not typed, because some of our students will get confused. It is not getting typed or what, and they give wrong password multiple times and it gets locked. Don't worry like that. What? Okay, it is not just visible. That's it. You can see here, I'm going to the search and here I'm typing SQL plus. If it is installed, you will be shown this window. Then here I'm just typing the username as system. You can type system, and the password, whatever you gave during installation, you type here, but the cursor will not move a bit also. Then press enter. Then it will show. If I give the wrong password, let us say, once again I will run SQL command line. And if I give here wrong password, I'm giving the username as system and the password I'm giving something and then enter. It is telling invalid username and password. Logon has been denied. Now, once again, I will enter the correct username and I will enter the password here. Okay, this is how you have to do it. Okay, this is a basic installation of any Oracle database. You have to download and install. You will get the recording session after the class, everyone. Just follow that and try to install. Okay. And after that, in tomorrow's class, we'll see some information on again on database, like normalization and few basic things. And I will show about the queries also, like how to work with the database. It will take little time. It will not be easy for all people to install it. Some people will getting error because if you already install Oracle and remove it, because if anything you're removing, don't directly remove it. You have to go to control panel and uninstall it. Sometimes without knowing, some people might have removed it, any database. Now, if you're trying to install Oracle, it will give you an error. So check once with the control panel. And if you are uninstalling any Oracle or MySQL, which is existing older versions or anything you have, go to it and remove it completely by clicking on uninstall. What database you want, you can install it again. Don't unnecessarily uninstall it. If you have MySQL, let it be like that. You can practice on that, no issues. Understood? So install it. Sometimes it will be rolled back. Sometimes it won't install because if you are improperly removing it. So try to do that and note down the errors that you get while installing. Okay, some people will get error. Not everyone. Some people may get error. You need not be worried. I will tell the solutions for it also tomorrow. What you have to do if it gets rolled back or any other issue, if it is not getting installed, we can discuss on that. Okay. Is it clear, everyone? ఇవాళ సెషన్లో ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా అండి? అందరికి అర్థమైందా? ఓకే. సో వరుణ్, మీరు ఏ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అండి? ఆర్ యు వర్కింగ్ ఆర్ హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్?
Hello.
యా, చెప్పండి.
Yeah, I'm currently working.
అవునండి, ఓకే. సో ఆల్రెడీ మీకు ఏమైనా బేసిక్ ఐడియా ఉందా?
అంటే నాకు కొంచెం ఐడియా ఉంది, లైక్ లిటిల్ బిట్ ఆఫ్ నాలెడ్జ్ అంతే. సో కరెంట్లీ వర్క్ చేస్తున్నాను దాంట్లో. ఐ హ్యావ్ దిస్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ స్కిల్. సో
ఓకే, ఓకే. సో
హలో, హలో, am I audible?
okay, can you all hear me, online students?
యా ఇప్పుడు వస్తుంది, మీ వాయిస్ ఇప్పుడు
ఓకే.
వస్తుంది.
ఓకే. ఇందాక యాక్చువల్లీ ఇవాళ నేను వర్క్ ఫ్రమ్ హోమ్ చేస్తానండి. మా కిడ్‌కి బాగోక. సో, అందుకని కొంచెం పవర్ ఆన్ ఆఫ్ ఉంది ఇవాళ. అందుకని కొంచెం డిస్కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది. సో, మేబీ టుమారో, డే ఆఫ్టర్ టుమారో నేను ఆఫ్‌లైన్ అవైలబుల్ ఉంటాను. సో, అప్పుడు ఇష్యూ ఏముండదు. సో, ఫర్ టుడే అండ్ టుమారో ఐ విల్ టేక్ 45 మినిట్స్ సిన్స్ డెమో సెషన్స్ కాబట్టి. ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ ఇట్ విల్ బి ఫ్రమ్ 12:15 to 1:15. ఓకే. సో, దట్ వాస్ ద రెగ్యులర్ టైమింగ్స్. అండ్ ఎప్పుడన్నా మీరు సెషన్ మిస్ అయినా లేదా ఆన్లైన్, ఆఫ్‌లైన్ ఎలా వచ్చినా గానీ మీరు యూ కెన్ గో త్రూ ద రికార్డింగ్. మీకు ప్రతిరోజు అటెండ్ అయిన వాళ్ళకి, అవ్వని వాళ్ళకి అందరికీ రికార్డింగ్ పంపిస్తారు. సో, యూ కెన్ అటెండ్ ద రికార్డింగ్. రికార్డింగ్ కూడా వినొచ్చు మీరు. ఓకేనండి అందరూ? ఓకే అండి. విల్ కంటిన్యూ టుమారో at 12:15. ఓకే.
థ్యాంక్ యూ,
Okay.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Okay, Varun. Any questions, Varun? Did you understand?
యా, యాజ్ ఆఫ్ నో ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇస్ క్లియర్, ఐ అండర్స్టూడ్.
ఓకే. సో, రేపు
సో
మీరు వన్స్ డెమో సెషన్స్ అయిపోయినాయి అంటే మీకు రెగ్యులర్‌గా రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్, టాపిక్ వైస్ డాక్యుమెంట్ కూడా పంపిస్తాము. అండ్
ఓకే,
క్వెరీస్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకుంటాకి. సో, మీకు హెల్ప్‌గా ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే. సో వన్ బేసిక్ క్వశ్చన్ ఇస్ లైక్,
హ్మ్.
దిస్ ఇస్ అ 1 month ఆఫ్ సెషన్, రైట్? 1 month లో ఇది అయిపోతుంది.
అయిపోతుందండి.
ఓకే, ఓకే,
SQL, PLSQL 1 మంత్‌లో అయిపోతుంది.
ఓకే.